The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
B1 brothers and sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, like this broadcast, and share it on your various social media platforms. If you guys are returning to the channel, welcome back. Please make sure you like and share this video on your various social media platforms. Before we get started, let me give some shout outs to the people in the room. We have Michelle, she deserves to lose. Yeah, reading the title of the room. Absolutely. We have Black Nuremberg Trials. B1 to you will be one to you, my brother. We have our mod Ace Keeper in the building. Salute to our mods. We have John Clark in here. Salute to him. Excuse me, Ty Quinn Campbell. Hold on. Because people want to call me when I go live as if I don't schedule the live ahead of time. They do it just to get at me, but it's fine. I don't let it bother me. I don't let that get under my skin. Not at all. Not whatsoever. Hold on. Let me see. All right. Shots on target. B1. Dark Angel. B1. PD Chicago. Virgo Venom. B1 to every single last one of you guys. Thank you guys for being here. You guys could have been anywhere, but you guys are here right now. We're gonna have a great broadcast. Please make sure you guys leave a like. Let me do this. Put the social media thing there, because I always forget about that, but not this time. No, not this time. Now, as you guys already know, Stacey Abrams lost the governoratorial race for the governor of Georgia. That's been trending the last couple days. People have been asking, okay, well, why is that important? Why is that significant? I don't even live in Georgia. All this and that. Why is everybody so fixated on this particular race? People are fixated on this particular race because this was one of, if not arguably the biggest race all 2022. This was the biggest race of the 2022 midterm elections because Georgia is a key state. It's a swing state, which means Georgia determines the bigger election, the presidential election. Georgia is a very key state, which is why everybody is fixated on this, which is why this race between Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp, this is the biggest race, one of, really, if you ask me, arguably the biggest race of the 2022 midterms. And as we know, Stacey Abrams lost a second time to Brian Kemp. Now, we're going to get into, if you guys didn't know, we have Black Light Revelations in the chat room. Salute to you. See your channel growing. That's a good thing. Y'all check them out. Tia is in here. B1 to you, sister. How are you? We have to discuss why it is that she lost. Why did she lose? I mean, allegedly, we're just going to say this. We gave her the credit for pushing this pushing the state blue. She made the state blue enough for her to win for Joe Biden. That's one thing. The state was blue enough for her to win for Joe Biden, but she couldn't win for herself. She did all of these get out the vote campaigns where she was getting a whole bunch of people, black people specifically, according to her, registered to vote. She was getting a lot of black people registered to vote, and then a lot of those black people who were registered to vote for Joe Biden. So why could she not win the election? What happened? We're going to explain that. We're going to explain exactly what happened. So what happened is she ran against black people. Let me show you. Because I got my receipts ready. You already know. That's why you're here. That's why you guys should be liking if you guys haven't done so. Bruce is in here. I want to make a video. I will make a broadcast about the rally. Like all the people I saw so many people. If you guys were here from the rally, like leave a one. Leave like the number 1 if you guys were here, if you guys saw me at the rally. I want to get a track of how many people saw me at the rally. Just real quick. But let me pull this up as I'm finding out who was at the rally, who was in the chat room. this is one of the things, Bruce. Yeah, I remember seeing you, Bruce. We chopped up some game. We talked. It was great meeting you. Let me see. Make this tad bit bigger. Time. Okay, we got two people saw me at the rally. I'll put this off. Two people saw me at the rally. It was great. It was literally so great meeting you guys. It really was. Um, I'm definitely gonna have to do in anytime we have another event or anything like that coming up. We have some more events coming up next year that I'm hearing about. So I'm definitely going to be participating in those events. Hopefully you guys will be there too. Righteous Daughter, she said you were there. We took a photo. Yeah, we did take a photo. Did you send me that photo? Cause some people took photos, said they was gonna tag me, never tagged me. I was like, okay, I ain't gonna nag, but Uh, yeah, I got photos. Oh yeah, you took it. Oh, so you were one of the. Okay, I got you. But yeah, some people said they were gonna tag me and they must have forgot about it. Some people been sending it to me or whatnot. It was great. It was absolutely great. I don't want to get too far off subject, but I will make a whole thing. Oh, you tagged me. Okay, you did tag me. You were okay. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for that. It was great meeting everybody. It really, really was. But I'm gonna do a whole broadcast because y'all got me here talking about the rally, and I'm gonna miss what I'm supposed to be talking about right now. But we're talking about Stacey Abrams. For the people who are just coming in the room, we got a decent amount of people in the room. Please make sure you guys like the broadcast. It's very important. It will help the channel. We're still trying to reach 4,000 subscribers, at least 4,000 by the end of the year. So by 2023, we should be at 4,000 plus heading on. Okay. So we can do that. We can do that. We're right by we're halfway kind of. We really just need like 500 more, to be honest, to get to 4,000. We have enough time. We can really push this. We can really make this happen. I believe so. Okay. And I got some other stuff I want to announce later on towards the end of the broadcast. But let me show you, these are the things, these are the reasons why Stacey Abrams lost, because she was on platforms and she was saying things like this.
Specifically for black people.
Hold on. Shoot. Let me, because y'all couldn't hear it. Hold on.
Like they use the cloak of poor people and
People
the
of color.
underprivileged people.
Is that there can't be legitimacy to our critique. I know my critique is.
I think we should explore a few solutions.
Grammarly's suggestion.
Right. And I know the solution. And if you weren't afraid of the solution, you would actually be having a conversation with me about the problem and not creating these distractions of trying to create a false narrative about what I'm saying.
Right. Another question is why are politicians so afraid to say that they're doing something specifically for black people? Like they use the cloak of poor people and
People
of color, the underprivileged. Why is it that you can't just come out and say, I'm doing this for black people because black people need it? Because so many things have been done to us throughout the history of this country. So many things have been done to us, but very little has been done specifically for us. Why do you think that is?
Because African Americans represent 12% of the population. And so if you are a traditional politician doing the math, you think if I name this group, I am going to lose other people, and I can't get, if every single black person voted for me, this may not get me what I want. So let me make it vague enough that other people don't get offended by helping.
Oh, you just gave me an idea. I hate to cut you off,
Please.
but black people, we just gonna have to start finding, like.
Now, that was her answer. Her answer was she didn't want to offend other groups of people because she didn't want to lose the vote. Because the thing is, in the world that we live in, the world of anti-black racism, and you know what word I want to use, but YouTube doesn't like me to use that word, the WS. Everybody hates black people. That's just, everybody just hates black people's guts. Anything that is beneficial to black people will automatically turn other people away. That's just the way it is, and they all know that. So what they're trying to do, what she was talking about is, I don't want to lose voters by specifically saying anything about black people. because that will make white folks not want to vote. That will make Asians, that will make Hispanics, that will make all of them not want to vote for me if they find out that I'm actually doing something tangible for black people. Now, unfortunately for her, that didn't really turn out the way she wanted to, because when you look, hold on, I want to show you this. When you look at this, you can see, now this was the polls, everybody was counted up. You can see she pretty much got 100% of the black vote. Of the people who turned out to vote, she got a huge number of them. And despite the fact that she tried to keep her campaign so neutral, so vague, it didn't offend anybody. Remember, that's what she said. She said that was her strategy. She wants to keep it vague enough for it not to offend other people from voting. Despite the fact that she did not come out with a strong black agenda to in order to deter people from voting, she still didn't get that much of the vote from anybody else. She only got a quarter of the white population to vote in Georgia. The Latino vote, that's a little over half. Asian vote a little over half, and Asians don't make up that much of Georgia either. And then other, I'm not sure, I mean, what other is really counted for. But then when we look at these stats as well too, these break them down from gender. White men barely voted for her. White women, altogether, white society barely voted. Latino men and Latino women voted with the same percentage for her, and other races. So she pretty much didn't get any, she didn't lead really with any other group of people besides black people. You see black women at 93%, you see black men at 84%. Okay? So this was her mistake. And this is the mistake that a lot of these politicians claim that they make. First off, they're not doing anything because they're told by their handlers, you're not supposed to do anything, especially from the Democratic Party. Remember those leaked emails where they said, if a Black Lives Matter, which is really a euphemism for black people, when Black Lives Matter comes up to you, make sure you listen to them, nod your head in agreement, hear them out, do all of that stuff. But don't make any promises. Do not promise them anything. You cannot guarantee them anything. Now, we have grown as a society. We have learned to ask for specific tangibles. And we're not taking any, well, you know what, I understand your pain and slavery was so harsh and we still don't have our freedom, but I believe in hope and all of this stuff, all of this word salad talking around the question. We're immune to that now. Now we're demanding, I was going to say wanting, now we're demanding the WikiLeaks. Thank you. Now we're demanding specific tangibles. And we're not taking no for an answer. We're not taking anything for an answer. That's her problem. The thing is that the whole, I'm going to be vague and I'm not going to guarantee you guys anything, but trust me, when I get in there, I got you. Just trust me, vote for me. But I can't be vague, because if I say I'm going to do something for black people, then that's going to make white people not want to vote for me. If I say I'm going to do something for black people, then that's going to make Hispanics not want to vote for me. But then when you look at the polls, hold on. I don't know why YouTube just sent me a message. When we look at the polls, you see none of them voted for her like that anyway. So if none of them, and that's the thing, if none of them were going to vote for her, she might as well went full-fledged on a strong black agenda. She said in that very clip, she deliberately avoided a black agenda. But let's not just judge her entire campaign off of that one clip alone. Of course not. Let's look at all of the clips, because we're really trying to break down why she lost. We're not just breaking the news, because the news has already been broke from a bunch of different other people. Kid Gravity is in here. Be one of you, bro. I mean, like him, he's broken the news. Everybody's broken the news, but I'm here to analyze why she lost. This is why. Because black people are tired. Black people want a specific, tangible black agenda. And if we're not getting that, we're not turning out to vote. Listen to this. This was her answer about reparations.
Do you believe that Black people should receive reparations?
I believe African Americans, or I believe, yeah, African Americans and Native Americans are entitled to reparations. We are the two communities who were legally disenfranchised from the inception of this country. And we are the two communities who had legal structures that were put in place for such a long period of time that our ability to achieve and access opportunity at a level that was commensurate with the rest of America was just not available.
As you're thinking about running for whatever office you decide eventually, is that going to be a part of your plan in regards to formulating what reparations could look like for us?
I think that we have to have a conversation about what reparations should look like, and that shouldn't be the domain of a single person. In part because I don't know enough to know what the answer is, but I should be a part of the conversation and part of convening those who can provide an answer, because this is a complex issue, and I think anyone who would say that it's simplistic is being disingenuous.
It's really not a complex issue. And see, this is what they do when it comes to black people specifically, foundation black Americans specifically. Any tangible thing to us, anything that's done for our benefit is just a really complicated issue. It's just so hard. You need HR 40, you need a study, you need all of this stuff. Where's the money gonna go? Who's the money gonna go to? All of these questions. But none of these complications, none of these questions ever come up when you're dealing with other groups of people. When you're dealing with Ukraine, when you're dealing with Afghanistan, when you're dealing with Hispanics, when you're dealing with Asians, when you're dealing with any other group of people, these complications and these questions and these studies and all of these necessities that must be taken in order for us to even get in the room, to sit at the table, to have the discussion about tangibles, none of that has to get done. You can just get straight to the money with them. It's straight to the money. But when it comes to us, you guys really don't understand how difficult this is. Politics is not an easy thing. No, we're not buying that. Now, she said, talking about reparations need to be given to Native Americans. Native Americans got their bag. Native Americans got their bag. Yeah, we know that some of the red Native Americans, yeah, they were disenfranchised. Yeah, they were done wrong too. Nobody's dismissing that fact. But the thing is that they literally have things that we don't have. Not only do they have things that we don't have, they have things that we were supposed to have that we were denied. They have things, because if we want to go all the way back to the treaties, when I say we, I mean foundational black Americans, we were a part of those treaties, and they kicked us out. They was all like, okay, well, we don't like black people. A lot of the Native Americans, they were very anti-black as well. So we're not going to talk about, okay, well, if we can do that, we have to include the Native Americans. We have to include the Native Americans. And that's the same thing Joe Biden says. This is the strategy anytime you ask a Democrat about reparations. They always say, yeah, oh yeah. Because they're not going to say no. They're not going to say a straight up no. They learned more. They learned from that. They learned, okay, when they ask you about reparations, you can't just say no. You have to say yes with a spin on it. You have to say yes, HR 40. You have to say yes, and Native Americans. You have to say yes, but in the form of student loans. You have to say yes with some type of twist on it. It can't be yes, just cut the check. That's not what you can never say that. Never. That's against the rules to say it like that. You have to put a twist on it. So with her and Joe Biden, their twist is, we're going to say yes to reparations for them, but we also say yes to reparations for Native Americans, which a lot of them, as we already know, are $5 Indians. So we're going to be paying a lot of $5 Indians our slavery reparations. And then when you open that door, and this is what I've been saying for a while on YouTube, when you open that door about, okay, it's not just slavery, because this is slavery reparations. This isn't anybody who has ever been done wrong by America reparations. That's not what this is. This isn't racism reparations. We're talking about slavery. The act slavery, or the enslavement of our people that built this country, not built it from the ground up, built the government, built the wealth, fought the wars, all of that. This is slavery reparations. When you break that seal of slavery, when you say we're going to include somebody who gets it, but they don't qualify for the slavery reparations, then it's broken. It's completely broken. Even if you let one of these quote unquote Native Americans get our slavery reparations, then that cracks open the door for everybody to get reparations. Then you'll have Hispanics talking about, well, what about me? What about me? Then you'll have the Asians talking about, well, what about us? So then reparations will just become people of color check for everybody of people of color. And then a lot of these red Native Americans are not even people of color, so to quote. So it'll just be a stimulus package for everybody. And guess who will get filtered out of the stimulus package? Us, FBA. So we can't go with that. No. We cannot go with that. But I got more receipts. If you guys thought I was done, I wasn't. Of course not. I have many more receipts because we're really trying to break down why is it that Stacey Abrams lost. I mean, a lot of people are wondering why. Why is that? Okay. Did you guys hit that like button? Please do so. Please do so. I would greatly appreciate that. And share it too. You can go to your Twitter. You can go to your Twitter and you can retweet it. Because I made a post about it on Twitter, so you can just retweet that. Our brother Ace Keeper made a post about it on Twitter too. You can just retweet that so more people can see that we're live. Because a lot of people like to watch it live. So I want to give people that experience. But remember, hold on, let me click on this. Remember when our sister Juicy Genius popped up on her? Let me take this back. Remember when our sister Juicy Genius popped up on her and she was in some type of cafe or something like that? I don't know what the building was, but remember this clip right here?
How it's a federal issue that needs to be legalized on a federal level. So speaking about that, we know that the Democratic Party would not have been able to get in the White House without the black vote. We literally delivered the White House to Joe Biden. So with that being said, why couldn't Warnock, yourself, and Ossoff champion the legalization of cannabis on the federal level, along with championing reparations to close the wealth gap between blacks and whites?
Sure. So I think there are two parts of that. No, you should feel free to talk for it.
Look it up.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
This goes back to my point about voting. The election of Warnock and Ossoff was absolutely essential to give Democrats the ability to appoint judges, to block bad legislation, and in certain circumstances where it is economic reconciliation, the budget bills, to pass legislation. Absent that, unless we have 60 votes, the Senate can do absolutely nothing. And I was clear about it, but the urgency of electing Warnock and Ossoff, I think, obscured the difficulty of getting more stuff done. We can champion it, but until we have 60 votes in the Senate that support, and there have been bills introduced every single year. Cory Booker has introduced this legislation. He can't get a hearing, let alone get 60 votes. So it's not the absence of championing it, it is the structural inequity of our system that allows a filibuster that's based in racism to determine the quality of legislation that passes at the federal level. That's the problem that we have. And that's part of the challenge with reparations. Reparations requires federal action, and until we have federal legislation that can pass by either eliminating the filibuster, especially when it implicates constitutional rights, or getting a 60 plus margin, because right now we've got 60 Democrats most of the time, but we do not have 50 votes on every bill. And you have to have 60 votes again. unless it is the appointment of a judge or the confirmation of a federal official, a budget reconciliation.
Okay, as you can see, I mean, she just went on and on and on and on. Okay, so she just did her thing. He asked a very clear, specific question. Why are you guys not championing it? Now, why hasn't it been done? Why not? When isn't gonna be done? Is why have you guys not championed this? What is preventing you guys from championing it? Then it was all of this filibuster, this, and you need votes. It's not a part of the championing it. It don't matter. All of this stuff, you need votes, and all of these word salad twisting. So when it comes to us, oh, you need the votes. Don't worry about it. You need the votes. Now, that's interesting because now we're going to look at her response that she gives when it comes to other people in their efforts. Okay, let's check this out. Let's hold on. Let me zoom. Yeah, let me check this out real quick, y'all.
But together, the population, Latinos are 10% of the population. The AAPI community is 4.5% of the population. But together, we are 12% of the business revenue and 1.5% of the contracts. Make that math work. But together, the population, Latinos are 10% of the population. The AAPI community is 4.5% of the population. But together, we are 12% of the business revenue and 1.5% of the contracts. Make that math work. But together, the population, Latinos are 10% of the population. The AAPI community is 4.5% of the population. But together, we are 12% of the business revenue and 1.5% of the contracts. Make that math work.
Now, I had to play it a couple times. Just so everything can be clear. Okay, now when she's talking to other groups and their problems, she's going directly at their problems. She's talking about tangible change that will bring them economic benefit. We, as foundational Black Americans, Black people in general, foundational Black Americans in particular, we are economically ignored by pretty much all politicians. We are economically ignored. They talk about, oh, you need representation, you need abortion, you need this and that. They don't talk about anything that has to do with our economy. You need school, we need to build schools. But they don't talk about economic stability. They don't talk about economic change. They don't talk about economic growth. Now with us, she's doing that with them. She's talking about, hey, when you get here, oh, these contracts, these business contracts, oh, I got you. There's businesses, oh, I got you when it comes to that. She don't say that with us. With us, is the filibuster, this and this and this. But some people might think that I'm judging her a little bit too harshly. She has to appeal to them. Because she wants that coalition vote. But unfortunately, as we can see here, that coalition vote didn't turn out for her. That coalition vote did not turn out for her. Now, what's interesting about this is this goes to show the power of foundational Black Americans and what happens when we get on code. This goes to show what happens when we get on code, because I made the prediction a while ago that the second that she loses, I'm gonna show you the tweet. Let me pull it up and show it to you guys. I'm gonna show you the tweet. I said when Stacy Abrams lose, let me find the tweet I made. Come on, where is it? All right, right here. All right. I say, mark my words. When Stacey Abrams loses this election, the narrative is going to be blaming Black men for not turning out. I said that, and you can look at the date. That was on October 11th. I said that pretty much a month before. I knew a month before what the tactic was going to be. I knew a month before. I'm all like, yep, I already know it's going to be black men. Y'all ain't this, y'all ain't that, all of that stuff. Just half, yeah. Now half of the Latinos, they did turn out for her. Not nearly as much as needed. That means the other half decided not to turn out for her. She should have just focused on gaining that black turnout. That's the thing. Now I'm glad you brought that up, Bruce. That is true. Now the thing is that, okay, because people are making an argument. Well, she did look at how many black people voted for her. All of these black people voted for her. But the trick is, those are the black people that voted. They're not counting the entire population. Remember in the broadcast that I did about Stacey Abrams, and the link is in the description below if you guys have not watched that. In the broadcast I did about Stacey Abrams, I said in South Fulton, keep getting that name twisted. In South Fulton, it's a 92% black population. There are so many black people who live in the state of Georgia. If she focuses on getting the black turnout, plus, I mean, of course, you're going to have to appeal to other groups of people, whatever. We really don't trip on you appealing to other groups of people. They trip on you appealing to us, but we don't really trip on that. We have an issue with the fact that you're guaranteeing them tangible things. You're guaranteeing them promises. You are promising them things, but what only thing you're promising for us is things that apply to everybody. You're promising things to them specifically, and then you're promising things to us that apply to everybody and say you'll benefit the most because you're the most deprived. You have the least, so you'll benefit the most, even though that math doesn't even work. That's what we have an issue with. But if she was to focus on getting the black turnout. Now they talk about the numbers, but if you really think about it, if she really had almost 100% of the black vote, if she had a large black turnout, she would have won. She would have won, or at the very least, she wouldn't have lost as huge of a margin as she did. She lost by a decent margin. It wasn't like a close neck to neck race. She lost by a pretty good gap. And that's because she failed to get the black turnout. And that's because of the clips I'm showing you right now. Every time she went up to black people, it was, well, first off, I believe in reparations, but with black and Native Americans. Or when Chico Bean, when he asks, oh, why don't politicians say anything specifically to black people? Oh, it's because we're just so small. Really, you're insignificant. Really, I mean, 'cause other people are going to be bothered. And you see how that worked out for you. You went to the Latinos and Hispanics and you were talking about the business contracts and all of this stuff, and you're only this percent or whatever. She's talking about tangible change for them. But when she came to us, she was talking about how the filibuster is preventing them from even championing reparations. That's what she was talking about with us. This is why she lost. So I said, yeah, they're going to blame black men. And to nobody's surprise, they did. They started to. But before we get into that, shout out to Cyberdyne for that $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, brother. Said Jay, they got reparations. Yeah, they did. Yes, absolutely, they did. We got a bunch of people in the chat room. Can we please make sure we subscribe if we haven't done so already and hit that like? But look at this. This is just some of the stuff. Black men are so effing disappointing. Y'all literally didn't vote for Stacey Abrams. Y'all sick. Oh, wow. Okay. Another one. I don't know why. Hold on. Let me do it like this. I'm like, I don't know why I can't see the whole thing. The problem in Georgia is black men, all caps, black men, when it comes to this election, Y'all hate that a black woman is running so bad that y'all either one, don't go vote, or two, keep bashing Stacey Abrams for appealing to all black demographics as a scapegoat. What do you mean? First off, let's break this one down. What is all black demographics? What does that mean? We don't have an issue with Stacey Abrams appealing to what is all black demographics, which really means the black LGBT. That's what it means. If we're going to be honest, that's what it means. Nobody has a problem with that necessarily. We have a problem with the fact that when you are asked a question, it's not just black men, black women too. But when you're asked specific questions about economic change and bettering Georgia for black people, Georgia is going through a whole bunch of gentrification right now, and we have a big problem with that in Georgia. And when people ask you about economic change, when people ask you about reparations, you talk about the filibuster. And when people ask you about reparations, you talk about Native Americans. And then when even you are on a guest show, Chico Bean asks you, well, why don't you even appeal specifically to black people? You said pretty much our voting numbers is so insignificant, it would be bad politically for you to just appeal to black people. Remember, that's what she said. So that is what the issue is. It's not the fact that she's appealing to the all demographics. That's that intersectionalism garbage. That's that black men, black women, black men are right here, black women are right here. Then you have the black gays, then you have the black. No, we're not doing all of that. We're talking about black society as a whole. She did not appeal to black society as a whole. Okay, now. All right, keep going. It's the black men constantly on this app belittling a black woman, and stating that they did not vote for Stacey Abrams. Y'all so misogynistic, and it's disgusting. What did I tell you? I called it. I said the second she lose, they were going to start. It's black men, and black men don't do nothing. I hate black men. I told you. I said it. I know I did. It was about a month ago. We got another one. Dear black men in Georgia, since your sorry asses couldn't be bothered to get Stacey Abrams to the governor's mansion, F you, Killer Mike. You best help Rev Warnock if there is a runoff. Damn you all. Oh, and so you guys know, Governor Warnock is having the fight of his life with Herschel Walker, so much so that they had to go into a runoff. So that shows you how incompetent Governor Warnock is. But see all this F you all, damn you, we hate black men, you misogynistic, this and this and this. But I was glad to see that there was a lot of black people who they knew it. The tweet I made, clearly everybody knew what was going to be the case. So the second she lost, it was y'all better not blame black men. It was the brothers and the sisters. The sisters held it down too. So B1 salute to all of the sisters who were holding it down. It was y'all better not even try to blame black men. And what's crazy is that their hatred for black men is so just illogical. They're talking about, oh, black men, y'all didn't vote for Stacey Abrams. Oh, black men, y'all didn't vote for Stacey Abrams. But this was the turnout. Only 14% voted for Kemp. So even if 100% of black men voted, 100%, and not even 100% of black women voted for Stacey Abrams. They're not going to say anything about this 6% though. But even if 100% of the black men voted for Abrams, she's 100% of the black men who voted for Abrams, she still wouldn't have won. But the thing is that they have such hatred for black men. They really do. So much so that they can't wait to blame the black man, even though in this case it wasn't the black man's fault. But you damn sure ain't gonna see him blame no white dude. You ain't gonna see him blame the white woman. All of that people of color stuff, all of that, we got to talk about abortion and the sisterhood and all of that stuff. White women didn't. Listen to me when I tell you something. Do you think that these white women are any less racist than a white man? Do you really think that? Do you think that abortion is going to sway them to vote for you as a black person? No. They are looking at things like white power first, abortion second, and they have always looked at things that way. White women, they are on code when it comes to that stuff. The MDs, they are on code. They look at their race first. That's why they voted for Trump majority the first time, and then more than that the second time. That's why they voted for Kemp majority. They don't get abortion. Yeah, we want it, but we want white power more. So that's what they voted for. That's what they voted for. Brother Salim is in the building. Be one of you. I'm happy to see you at the rally. I was glad to see you there. Let me see. You look at some of the comments. All she needed was that 25% more of the Latino vote and another 25% of the white vote, and she would have won. Yeah, she would have. But they wanted Kemp. So she should have just appealed to getting black people to turn out for her by promising tangibles. Okay. All those blame black men are people really need to blame their math teachers because clearly they can't read percentages. Exactly. They were blaming black men. I don't even know if they looked at the percentage of the people who voted. They just know she lost, and he was like, "It's you niggas, I hate you." That's how they looked at it. But they tried it. They tried it. But we was on it. We knew for a fact that they was gonna do that. We knew for a fact that that's their tactic. That's what they were gonna do. It was gonna be blaming black men this, black men this. I want to show y'all this because they went on their little feminist. They went on their feminist thing. Hold on, let me pull this back. I want to zoom it in so y'all can see the fullest screen right here. Okay. Who is this lady again? All right, there he is. Oh, why is okay? I thought it was sharing the screen. It's not. Here it is. So this is a whole. After this, man,
there are those in our community beset by the kinds of spirits that seek to destroy us. We need to think robustly, just for instance, about the demon of disinformation that permeates our communities and that renders some of our most vulnerable men, our most visible men, the Kanyes and Kyries, the Drakes. Keep Megan Pete's name out your mouth. Okay. The old people won't get it, but the young people do. The Drakes and Tory Laneses of the world, foaming at the mouth, rapidly spouting anti-Semitic, anti-Black, anti-feminist, anti-factual statements. We need to talk about the demon of disinformation that has Black male voters in Georgia willing to support Raphael Warnock, but not Stacey Abrams.
So now black men are possessed by the demon of.
So this is them saying black men are we're possessed by a demon of political misinformation. I mean, you learn something new every day. I've never heard of a political demon. I've never heard of that. That is new to me. A political demon of misrep. Oh wow. So yeah, they were on the blame black men thing, blame black men, their gender thing. Now, speaking of which, I want to show you this one clip from Tesla and Figaro. She was on what was it? Today on Hill TV, the Hill TV. She was on it. I want to show y'all what she had to say.
For candidacy, I don't get it. Yeah, that's okay. I'm here to help you get it. Number one, over 40 million people have already voted. Georgia has had record turnout. They would have you believe that no Black men at all have voted, and that's just simply not true. So rather than saying, I blame you, how about they say, I will do better? Blaming Black voters or blaming Black men is no different than blaming the person that got cheated on in the relationship. Perhaps if you just cooked more, I wouldn't have cheated. At the end of the day, it is about who is trying to engage these voters. And if they failed, and I want to give you this example, just bear with me quickly. David Axelrod, a white man, a top Democrat, Obama's go-to person, said the other day very clearly that Democrats have failed in their economic message. Nobody is saying that he's spreading misinformation. He said that they are not reaching out the way that they should. Hillary Rosen also said the same thing, which is a top Democrat strategist. No one is telling them, oh, well, you're just spreading misinformation or you don't know what you're doing. And I have to say this to progressives as well. They also do this racist trope, and they call it misinformed voters, low education, low information voters when they don't get their way. It is basically a racist trope that says that Black men are lazy, that they're not involved, and it is flat out a lie. And let's talk about targeting voters. Stacey Abrams said they're being targeted for misinformation. Well, guess who's being targeted for actual engagement? The Hispanic community by the GOP has strategically been targeted with over 30 plus diversity centers, with over 20 plus strategically in Latino communities, brick and mortar, that says, hey, come on in. We want to tell you about the Republican Party. And so the response to that from Democrats was, hey, well, we're doing advertisement. So rather than blaming Black men, why don't you ask the Democrat Party, why is it that they have not engaged Black men or Black women, because we do vote together, by the way, and talk about an economic policy that we would adhere to? And so it's a lie. It is a racist trope. It is something that is designed to blame and beat Black men with a public scalding when they don't get their damn way. And it has to stop. And I also blame these Black pundits who are running with this as well. Misinformation is very strategic. They're not confused. Black men, I just went to a reparations rally on Saturday. Thousands of people showed up, more so Black men. And they showed up with less than a 2-week notice, with no rapper as a headline, with no political party that pushed it, with no political official that pushed it, with less than 2 weeks, Bree. I've seen political elected officials that can't get 50 people in the room at best. So Black men are engaged, but they may not be engaged, and they may not be feeling you. The first thing is actually dating somebody, then engaging, and then asking them to get married. Black men are engaged. They just ain't feeling you. So what do you have to do? Come back to the table and say, how can I bring you on? But also don't discredit Black men who vote Democrat, but also understand, guess what? Black men are also conservative, and that's just something they're going to have to deal with. Yeah. But why is it, let me ask you this, Bree, when white women flipped on the Democrat Party and they voted for Obama and then flipped with Trump to line up with their white men, when Hispanics has consistently flipped, this by working on the Bernie Sanders campaign, that the Latino community in Florida voted to the right, that the Latino community in California voted to the left. Why are those groups looked at as strategic voters? Why are those groups looked at as, oh, they're just well informed and they're leveraging their vote? Why is it when it comes down to Black voters, and particularly Black men, it is this push on where you just don't know what you're talking about, or maybe if you just had a little bit more information, or perhaps you should just fall in line? That is a problem that is much more deeper than just a political analysis, conversation. It is about, let's go ahead and tie men up on the pole and let's give them a shellacking. That's what this is. And we have to push back at that. And to Black men that are saying, hey, I want them to know that they need to respect us. So I'm glad that we get the blame. I say this, I want them to respect you, but respecting you is not blaming you. In a relationship, respecting you is saying, I will do better. I will start cooking. Yeah. I will do all the things I said I was going to do when I decided to marry you. Not saying, well, you should have did better. I will say with this, Boomerang said it best, the old school movie, love would have brought your ass home last night. And it's time for Democrats to show some love to Black voters, the same people that held them down for the last 60 years plus.
Well, we have to leave it.
She wasn't playing no games, was she? She was not playing no games. That was Teslin Figaro. She wasn't playing no games. She was letting them have it. And I appreciate that. See, that's what happens when brothers and sisters are on code with each other. Because they tried to do the, well, why didn't black men? And she shut that down. They couldn't say nothing. They were sitting up there like, they nervously smiled like, commercial break, please, please. So no, she was on it. She wasn't playing no games. But real quick, I want to give a salute to the super chat, $5 super chat from Jay Cage. They know what it is. B1 to you, brother. Thank you very much for your super chat. We have a 1999 super chat, $20 super chat from Rim 11B Airborne. Thank you very much for your super chat, family. I appreciate that. It will be put to good use. I guarantee it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. We have another super chat from Jesse. From the Democrats have gentrified Detroit. We can't lose Atlanta. No, we cannot. The Democrats are pretty much trying to gentrify every place where black people are. They're doing that to Chicago, Atlanta, New York, Detroit, like LA. They're doing that everywhere. We have to push back against it. This is why we are not compromising at all when it comes to tangibles. It is no tangibles, no vote. That's what we are doing. We are not compromising when it comes to that. They're sitting up there trying to gentrify. No, we are not doing that. We need specific, tangible things, or we are not voting. We're not just going to vote because we don't like this Republican. That's not going to work anymore. That's not going to work. Okay? Now, despite the fact that they tried to do, and they tried to make one small little article, because the thing is that they don't want to go full-fledged, we hate all black men. They don't want to do that yet because they know they still need the black vote, which means they need the black men and women to vote for Warnock in December. They need that because of the what's that thing called? The standstill there, because I cannot remember the name. It's like a overtime for voting. I cannot believe I forgot the name. But they still need people to vote for Warnock. So they don't want to go too hard on the men yet, but they are starting to put this misogynist, sexist angle into this situation. So let's look at this. I want to read this article to y'all. Hold on. I got to get rid of this first before I even pull that up. That's why, of course. Just the title, Lord. Oh, here we go. The runoff. Thank you, man. The runoff. I don't know why I couldn't say that. They need black vote for the runoff. Thank y'all. I don't know. Sometimes the words just get away from me sometimes. For black women, Stacey Abrams' loss feels like a punch in the gut. Woo! All right. Let's see if we can stomach this. The morning after the midterm elections, Naomi Nadulo, I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's a foreign name. Naomi Nadulo woke up thinking about Stacey Abrams. Quote, "I hope that she's okay," said Naomi, an online content creator in Myria, Georgia, someplace in Georgia. Quote, "I hope she's sitting in bed with some Starbucks. I hope her feet are up. I hope she's talking to her mom, talking to family." Just first off, Stacey Abrams didn't find out she has cancer. She lost an election. Let's tone it down a little bit. All of that's not necessary. Anyway, most of all, Nadulo said she hopes Abrams knows that black women are proud of her. Really though? Are black women really proud? I don't think the black women in this chat are proud. I don't think so. I don't think you guys are proud. Before we get to that, let me give a salute to the black woman who just donated. So I'm sure she's not proud. With the disdain that they have for black men, do they really think that they are going to get any black voters in December? I don't think so. They want to, they need to. Otherwise, Herschel's going to win. The fact that Warnock couldn't beat Herschel in a clean sweep, that's a terrible sign. That is a tragic, terrible sign. for Warnock's campaign. It's egregious, as our sister Zizi would say. But continuing, Abrams lost her rematch bid in Georgia's gubernatorial race Tuesday night to Republican incumbent Governor Brian Kemp. Some black women and activists called it a devastating blow for Abrams, 47, a Democrat who has dedicated her career to mobilizing voters in Georgia, an effort credited with helping flip the state blue in the 2020 presidential election. The outcome also, some said, reaffirmed the message about the racial and gender gap that persists for black women. All right, here we go. Quote, "We always have to work 10 times as hard as our white counterparts," end quote, said Christine Hardy, an attorney in Atlanta, quote, and not only do we have one strike against us that we're black, here we go, we're also a part of a second marginalized group because we're women. And so it always seems like we're getting the short end of the stick, end quote. That's that intersectionalist stuff. That's that gender divide. You got to know they're gonna pull it. I mean, is anybody really surprised? Is anybody really surprised? You just knew that they were gonna pull it. You knew that. I knew that. You knew that. We knew that. We got the double end of the stick, but we knew they were gonna say that. And we know statistically that's not true. Black people in general were in the same boat, in the same situation. The dominant society is not doubly oppressing you because you're a female. That doesn't even make any sense. The dominant society has literally never worked that way. So it don't make no sense. No, it does not. But there they go, trying to chip off from the black society. Oh, anyway. For Nadulo, and if I'm butchering her name, you guys got to forgive me because I don't know exactly how to pronounce. I think she's Nigerian, I believe, and I'm not sure. For Nadulo, quote, "It feels like a punch in the gut," she said. Let me see. "I was kind of hoping for her to win. A win for all black girls. Not black society. Not a win for black society, but a win for all black girls." Okay. All right. I see what she's on. Abrams, who was elected to the Georgia House in 2006, rose to become its minority leader before her first governor's run in 2018. This election cycle, she censored voting rights, Medicaid expansion, and abortion rights in her campaign against Kemp. Black women told the Washington Post the latter issue, following the Supreme Court's recent Dobbs decision, earned their support. Black women such as Abrams have long pushed national Democratic campaigns to invest in Georgia and other southern states, laying the organization's groundwork for galvanized voters of color. Voters of color. All right. And we see what the voters of color did for Abrams, but okay. Along with Abrams, black leaders like Latasha Brown, Nassi Ufut, I believe that's how it's pronounced, Nassi Ufut, Helen Butler, Ashley Robinson, and Christine White have led voter rights efforts in grassroots organizations in Georgia. What about a reparations efforts? That's what the real grassroots is really looking for. Quote, "There's just so many black women who are out tolling and working every day to move the needle for everyone in Georgia," said Kendra Cotton, CEO of New Georgia Project, a nonpartisan civic engagement organization founded by Abrams in 2014. They have been visionaries and are dominating these efforts across the state, end quote. Their efforts include flipping Georgia blue and landmark races, bringing critical victories for candidates such as President Biden and Senator John um, Ossoff and Raphael G. Warnock, whose following Tuesday is held to a runoff against Republican Herschel Walker after Warnock won in another runoff in 2021. Okay. Warnock stands on her shoulders, Cotton says. Well, if Warnock stands on her shoulders, then I got bad news for Governor Warnock. If Warnock stands on her shoulders, that's probably why he hasn't beaten Herschel yet. I'm just saying. Okay, it continues to say, stands on her shoulders, quote, we have to take into account what she did when she let me see what she did. Gerrymandered a lot of these entities in our progressive ecosystem here in Georgia. Keep it going. The question is whether the voters in Abrams sought to mobilize with turnout. In the lead up to the election, a key base of Democrats had expressed concerns about Abrams' support among black men. But early exit poll data Wednesday showed Abrams winning 90% of black voters in Georgia, including 93% of black women and 84% of black men, nearly identical to Warnock's support among both groups in the state. But certain conditions, and here's the excuses, here it is, here we go. But certain conditions of the race made Abrams' rematch more challenging than in 2018, when she ran for an open seat in the historic bid that catapulted her to the national spotlight, said Andrea Gillips, a political scientist in Emory University in Atlanta. Quote, fast forward 4 years, she is not running against another person who has never been governor before. She's running against an incumbent this time. Gillips said of Kemp, and she's running against an incumbent who has kept his campaign promises and for whom Republican voters are really satisfied. There is a familiarity with his leadership. Now, here is the thing with that, though. If it's so difficult to beat an incumbent, based off of what they're saying, the excuse is for Stacey Abrams, one of the things that was harder for her this time running than it was last time is because this time she was running against the incumbent who's already been in office and who's already he's delivered his promises for his campaign and he's made his constituency happy. Why is Warnock not getting that? Considering the fact that he's up against Herschel Walker of all people. And Warnock is the incumbent based off of what this article is stating right here. If being the incumbent puts you at this great advantage over the other contestant, why is Warnock going to the runoff with Herschel Walker? It doesn't add up. Her statement right there proves how terrible Warnock is. Because if you being the incumbent, which is true, if being the incumbent makes it more difficult for your opponent, then it should have been a clean sweep. It should have been a walk in the park for Warnock to beat Herschel Walker. But he's going to the runoff. Just saying. Something I noticed. They're not going to say that, though. They're not going to say that. So I have to say it. Let me see. We're right here. There's also a familiar set of obstacles. She and others suggested, considering Abrams identified as a black woman, I mean, what else could she identify as? Not a black, here they go with the black woman thing, not black person. In the coming days, she said, there will probably be speculations on whether opponents judge Abrams too harshly. I don't think we judge Abrams too harshly. I'm just going to give you my honest opinion right now. Okay, it continues. Quote, there is a conversation worth having, Gillip said. Quote, she is different. She has a different set of disadvantages and actually even a set of attacks that can be levied against her because she is a black woman. Not black person, a black woman. The gender divide is strong with this article. The Washington Post know they getting a gender divide, black feminist money going on. The divester stuff going on here. Gillips pointed to a long slate, quote, of black women who are running for a high profile state office. Oh boy, end quote. If we look at the Senate races with Cherry Baisley and Val Demings, I think in particular there is a frustration that the Democrats did not invest enough of their resources in Florida and North Carolina Senate races, she said. It wasn't just Abrams' loss. Oh, well, you know what? To be honest with you, I will agree with that. Abrams wasn't bad. All of the Democrats were bad. They all did terrible. All of them. They all did terrible. The ones who won barely won. So they all did bad. So I will agree with that. Okay. Except if you're like in a super like blue state, like, but they didn't. There was a low turnout when it comes to everybody, all black society, when it comes to this election. But let's continue. Or as Alex Cumby, a writer and political strategist based in Birmingham, Atlanta, put it, for another election season, black women continue to be the backbone of the Democratic Party, but not the face of it. That's interesting because when you look at the actual stats, when you look at the actual statistics, when you look at the numbers, it looks like black men and black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. I mean, is this, if we look at this percentage and we say this is just representative of the Democratic Party, not just Stacey Abrams, but if we look at this whole thing altogether, that's not even a 10% difference. It's really not even a 10% difference. So black men but they want to say, black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. Of course. And 84% of black men are just what? Just nothing? Let them tell it. But let's continue. Okay. But they're not the face of Cotton, that was her name. It says Cotton, the New Georgia Project chief executive, said the work to galvanize more voters of color is far from over. I don't know if you really want to be trying to galvanize the voters of color. If I were you, I would just be trying to reach the black voters who are not voting because we're not getting any tangibles. I would just try to be more appealing to black people who are going to be more likely to vote for you anyway. That's what I would do. But what do I know? The South is going to be a tough nut to crack, she said. We're going to expand the electorate among the black and brown folks who already feel disconnected and left behind. The ground is still fertile and ripe to get those votes involved in the electoral process. So our mission hasn't changed, nor has Abrams. While I may not have crossed the finish line, that does not mean that I will ever stop running for a better Georgia, she said in her concession speech Tuesday night. We will never stop running for the truth that we know to be true, for the people that need to see us. I'm sorry. Nadulo said Nadulo said she's inspired by Abrams' resilience, and she finds that familiar too. Quote, she reminds me of my older sister. She reminds me of my younger sister. She reminds me of my mom, Nadulo said. She is that woman. I don't know how Stacey Abrams reminds you of everybody in your family, but okay. Wow. She reminds you of every woman in your family? That's something else. B1 from Orlando. B1 to you from Chicago. How about that? But yeah, they tried to pull that gender divide. Oh, the black woman, she had black, it's double oppressed for us because we're black and we're women. And no. See, the thing is that despite the fact that pretty much the same percentage of black women who turned out is pretty much the same percentage of black men who turned out, it's literally not even a 10% difference in the black women who turned out to vote for Stacey Abrams versus the black men who turned out to vote for Stacey Abrams, and she still lost. So that shows that there was just low turnout. I mean, the numbers, because if you look at the black population in Georgia, we're just going to go by the numbers. If you look at the black population in Georgia and you see that South Fulton, now we're not even counting Atlanta, but if you see that South Fulton has 92% of the black vote, if she was to get that one city alone, that probably would have took her over the top. Okay. Plus all the other votes she got. Okay. So if she was to focus on turning out the black vote, not creating this coalition, not being vague about what you're going to do for black people, and being very specific about what you're going to do for other people, and then just hoping that your blackness, that your melanated skin is going to get black people to turn out for you. If she would have focused on providing tangibles, if she would have to focus on promising tangibles, if she was a reparationist, if she was to say that and push that on her campaign, she could have turned out the black vote. The black vote would have been in higher numbers. You would have had more black people who are voting for her, and you would have won the election. But she didn't. This is why she lost. She didn't lose because she was a black woman. She didn't lose because black men are misogynist. She lost because she could not turn out the black vote the way she needed to. And she didn't do that because in her campaign, she went all around the bush. Anytime somebody asked her a question specifically about black people, it was, well, black people, we really don't make up enough of the population to really promise you anything specifically, because I'm more concerned about other people voting for me than black people. I don't want to push them away by pulling you in. So I would rather be vague with you so I can keep them close to me. That's what she said when when Chico Bean asked her that question. When the other dude from that interview, when he asked her about reparations, she said reparations for black people, and then she said reparations for Native Americans. That's not what we're going for, because if you say slavery reparations for Native Americans, then reparations for everybody at that point. When the clip with Juicy Genius posted, where she was asked about reparations specifically, why are you not championing reparations? She was all like, "Oh well, don't worry about championing. That has nothing to do with anything. It's the what did she say? What did she say? It's the filibuster and all of these excuses." And she played this whole word salad that nobody really understood what she meant. I don't even understand if she even know what she was trying to say, if she even understood what she was trying to say. So nobody knew what she was trying to say. So yeah, that's why she did not win. And I knew she wasn't going to win, which is why I predicted it. which is why that the link to that is in the description. I said she's losing black voters for these exact reasons, and I put that in the description. The link to that is in the description if you guys haven't checked that out. And as a matter of fact, that is my most watched video on the channel. My literally most watched video on the channel is in the description below. Is the one where I said that Stacey Abrams was losing black voters. So a lot of people loved it. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys definitely want to. But in wrapping up, in conclusion, I do want to make an announcement. There's been a lot of smaller stories that I've wanted to do reports on, that I wanted to do my commentary on, that I haven't been able to do because my live streams, I really want to focus my live streams on one specific subject. I don't want to focus my live streams, and I'm talking about 5 completely different things. Even if I like touch on a few different things, I want every live stream to kind of be centered around one specific thing. I don't want to be touching on 10 minutes on this, 15 minutes on this, 30 minutes on this, 10 minutes on this. I don't really want to do that. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start making smaller recorded clips. I already got a program where I'm going to start recording myself. I'm not going to do it on StreamYard. I'm going to do it on another program. I think I might do it on StreamYard. Well, I got another program for that. So I have another program set up specifically for that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to edit that. And I know what you guys are thinking. Afro, you said you were going to do that like 4 months ago. And I know that's what you guys are thinking. But I'm going to do it for real because I really do want to take this channel to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We got like 2 months, a little less than 2 months, but I believe we can do it. We pretty much, all we need pretty much is a little over 500 subscribers and we can get to 4,000. So I believe we can do it. So I'm going to do my part, and I know my part is to touch on a lot of the smaller stories that gets overlooked, you know. So, and I'm not going to do I'm still going to do live streams. Don't worry about that. The live streams Mondays and Thursdays, they're not going anywhere, but throughout the week there might be a couple of other stories that I might want to touch on, that I'm going to make pre-recorded videos, and then I'm going to broadcast those. I'm going to use those as a premiere style format. Kind of the way I used to do. You know, so I definitely want to take this to 4,000 by the end of the year. I believe we can do it. So thank you guys for that. Oh, tomorrow, because I didn't go live Monday, tomorrow I will be doing a special live sometime in like the mid-afternoon time area. So be looking forward to seeing that. Definitely be looking forward to seeing that. It's definitely something that I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's a subject that I've been monitoring. I'm passionate about. I definitely want to give my commentary on that subject. I definitely want to break that subject down, especially after certain things happen today. Definitely want to talk on that. So be tuned tomorrow. Be following me on my social media so you guys won't miss out on any broadcasts. If I go late, if I go early, it's Afro Elite on Instagram and then the Afro Elite on Twitter. The link is in the description below. Stay tuned tomorrow for more broadcasts, and then come back next week. Subscribe if you guys have not done so, and hit that notification bell, family. And with that being said, first off, thank you. Thank everybody who donated. Thank everybody in the chat so far. I appreciate you guys for being here. B1 salute to all of the brothers and sisters out there. We're getting on code. Black men and black women, we're like this. We're on code. We're achieving tangibles. Also, next week, be looking forward to my the Rally for Reparations breakdown, because I want to give my personal take on it, because I haven't done a live on it, so I'm definitely going to do that. So be looking forward to that. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for everything you do. B1 salute to all of you guys. Y'all be safe. I will see you guys tomorrow.